On the night of February 24th to the early morning of February 25th, 1942, an unidentified flying object appeared over the skies of Los Angeles. Within minutes, chaos erupted. Welcome to the realm of secrets. Today we're taking a short break from the Greatest Secret series, which continues next week, and diving into one of the most mysterious incidents of World War II, a moment in history known as the Battle of Los Angeles. This is a true story, and every photo and video you're about to see is authentic, captured during that very night. So, what exactly happened in those tense hours of 1942? Only 3 months earlier, the United States had entered World War II after Japan's devastating attack on Pearl Harbor. Tensions were sky high, fear was rising, and Americans were expecting new assaults on the West Coast. And they were right. Just one day before the event we're covering today, on February 23rd, a Japanese submarine surfaced off the coast of Santa Barbara and fired dozens of shells at an oil refinery and nearby facilities. With everyone expecting another attack, panic broke out the following evening, February 24th, when hundreds of eyewitnesses reported seeing a massive, glowing, orange-colored object hovering over Culver City and Santa Monica, an object unlike anything they had ever seen before. At 2:25 a.m., the air raid sirens screamed across Los Angeles. A full blackout was ordered. Then, the 37th Coast Artillery Brigade opened fire, unleashing anti-aircraft artillery and 50 caliber machine guns into the night sky, aimed directly at the unidentified object. Chaos broke out. The footage you're seeing now is the original recording taken during the incident. Newspapers later retouched the now famous photo to increase contrast for black and white printing, making the shape of the object even more visible. Over 1,400 anti-aircraft shells were fired over the next several hours, many of them direct hits. At that moment, the American military was convinced they were under Japanese attack. Yet despite 2 continuous hours of heavy bombardment, the unknown object remained completely unaffected. It drifted slowly across the sky, then calmly moved south and disappeared beyond the horizon. The all-clear signal wasn't given until 7:21 a.m. That night, 5 people lost their lives, some in traffic accidents caused by panic, some struck by falling shrapnel scattered across the city, and some from heart attacks brought on by fear and stress. When the dust settled, no enemy aircraft, no debris, no trace of Japanese activity was ever found. Later that morning, the U.S. Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox held a press conference and officially declared the entire incident a false alarm, supposedly triggered by wartime nerves and misidentified objects. But that explanation raised more questions than answers, because nearly 2 million residents from that area weren't blind. Every military searchlight was locked onto the same target, and 1,400 shells fired into the sky failed to damage or even budge the object. Of course, they called it a false alarm. Imagine if the officials had to say, "Something unknown appeared above the city. We fired everything we had at it, and we couldn't bring it down." That would have shattered public confidence. Japan later confirmed they had no aircraft over Los Angeles that night. So, what was it? According to a 1983 U.S. military report, after an extensive investigation, the official conclusion was that the object was a weather balloon. A weather balloon, of course, one sturdy enough to withstand 2 hours of explosions and thousands of rounds of heavy ammunition. For now, let's put the official explanation aside. I'm really curious, what do you think it was? And if we exclude extraterrestrial technology, the only other possibility would be some type of secret German craft, perhaps connected to the rumored Vril program. But if the Germans truly had a vehicle capable of surviving such bombardment, why wasn't it used in the war they eventually lost? I'm not saying these craft didn't exist, but I highly doubt one was floating over Los Angeles that night. And of course, Hollywood did what Hollywood does. Recently, they made a movie called Battle Los Angeles, 2011, a film that has absolutely nothing to do with the events of 1942, and yet somehow still made millions. So what's the logical explanation for this event? Well, I don't think there is one. If this really was an extraterrestrial craft, perhaps some of you finally understand why aliens might avoid contacting us. I often see that question in the comments. If aliens exist, why don't they talk to us? Well, maybe they tried. Maybe they flew over to say hello and we greeted them with 1,400 shells. Very friendly of us. Maybe they even laughed at the spectacle. just like scientists in helicopters laugh when isolated Amazon tribes shoot arrows at them. Jokes aside, to this day, no one truly knows what hovered over Los Angeles on that cold February night. According to the official report, the cause of the panic was nothing more than a drifting weather balloon, a fragile latex sphere that somehow triggered air raid sirens, radar alarms, and 2 hours of anti-aircraft fire. The military insists that the glowing shape in the sky was only light reflecting off smoke and shrapnel. But eyewitnesses described something far larger, something that hovered, moved slowly, and refused to fall. If this was truly a balloon, then why did no one ever find a single piece of it? Others believe there was never an object at all. No enemy aircraft, no balloon, basically nothing. Just fear, smoke, and crisscrossing searchlights creating the illusion of a shape in the sky. In the chaos of wartime, the mind may have turned shadows into threats, but if the sky was empty, then what did radar operators track? And what did thousands of witnesses see drifting over the city? Some researchers suggest something far more earthly, but far more secret. A classified American aircraft being tested under the cover of night. A prototype so advanced that even friendly batteries mistook it for a threat. The military would never admit to nearly shooting down its own creation. Yet no known aircraft from 1942 could hover silently over a city or withstand direct anti-aircraft fire. If this was a secret project, it was decades ahead of its time. And then, there is the most controversial theory of all, that what hovered above Los Angeles was not a balloon, not smoke, and not a secret military plane, but a craft of unknown origin. Witnesses described a huge, glowing object that moved with intelligence, held steady under searchlights, and remained untouched after more than 1,400 rounds of heavy artillery. Nothing fell, nothing crashed, nothing was recovered. If something came that night, it vanished without a trace. And for anyone commenting that this was just a weather balloon, no heart for you today. Just kidding. Say whatever you want and share your thoughts, because this remains one of the most fascinating UFO cases in history. Thousands of eyewitnesses, a military that fired relentlessly for hours, and an object that simply ignored it. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this true story, don't forget to hit that like and share this video. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, you're here on the Realm of Secrets channel, where the truth is out there, somewhere around us. Until then, see you in the next video.